Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, whatever. Good afternoon, everyone. John Henry here, Slingshot Futures Trading Group, SSFTG. Welcome to the daily afternoon market recap and offering overview. We'll also take a look and see if we can find any S&P scalps along the way, see if anything's interesting on that front. Over the next 30 to 60 minutes or so, we're going to be covering what took place today, the trade setups that presented themselves per the rules outlined in the Day Trading Academy, and the VIP trade plans. Today, as a caveat to that, there really weren't that many trades today because today is the first day back from a long break, right? Multiple weeks off, coming back the first day in the room. I don't really take too many trades. Really didn't even mark that much stuff today. It was a lot of just getting ready, a lot of making sure everything was good to go. That said, I'm going to talk about every setup that presented itself today, but remember, not all patterns and setups are created equal. The ones that I'm going to cover here don't use common sense as a filter at all, and going long in a massive downtrend is totally applicable. Shorting at the bottom of a massive range, that's totally fine too. You get the picture. I do that to ensure total fairness in the patterns and the setup review. That way there's no cherry picking. Don't forget also, before we kick off, smash the like button on the YouTube side of things to let the algorithms know what's up. And while you're at it, make sure to subscribe. Click the subscribe button too so you don't miss the next video or live session. If you want to hang out with me and the rest of the VIPs for the entire US morning session, you can register for a 1-week free trial to the private VIP live trade room. And you can see how we trade the markets in real time while they're moving. Plus, when you register for a trial, you're able to download our 24-page guide on risk reward for free, and you also have access to schedule a 30-minute phone call with me to discuss any questions that you have about joining as a member or anything else. And the best part is, it's totally free. It doesn't even require a credit card to register, so make sure that you get on the calendar today and get your call slot locked in. If you have any questions about what we offer, what we have available for you, or really anything in between, we do a Q&A time after the charts while we're looking for S&P scalps as well, and that way we can definitely get you covered one way or another. So with all that out of the way, let's take a look at what happened today. In this case, on our old buddy, the NASDAQ. Looking at what actually happened, we only had one setup, really. Not to say that there weren't more along the way, but again, like I said, for the first day today, the first day back, I'm only looking for the absolute best of the best, cream of the crop, only grabbing ones that fit perfect. And there was only one. So the only one pattern that we had today that we talked about in the room was a bounce 3 for a plus 2R. Worked out very, very quickly. And that was really it. Really, really straightforward stuff. Now, like I said, obviously the first day back, we're going to be approaching things a little bit differently. But if we look at the overall move, I mean, look at what actually happened today. It started off and just never stopped going down. They finally found a bottom at like 1040, and since then we've just kind of gone sideways. But there's been a huge amount of bearish conviction to the downside. If we look at the sell, the sell, that was the only positions we had today. But if you look at the sell side today, as far as patterns go, we did have a very nice setup earlier this morning, and that was a beautiful trap on the highs. It's set up absolutely perfect, picture perfect. Except for the fact that by the time I hit sell ask, it filled me like 7 points later down to where I actually got filled. So it was a fantastic setup. It was a fantastic location. It worked out beautifully for an entry point, but I got filled horribly down here at 15,321.75. After realizing I had received such a gargantuanly awful fill, I immediately exited for a quick little out. That should have been a lot nicer, but given the lack of liquidity or the increase in volume, whatever you want to call it, that was all we had. The other one that we had jump up on the plate today was that bounce 3 that we were talking about. There was only a chance to grab one. It was there for about a millisecond, and then it went crashing all the way back down. That said, that was a start to a very, very large move down. And then the final position at the end of the day was a breakdown for a final grab. And that was basically just another rinse and repeat. The whole morning had this over and over and over again, where it would jump up, trap a high, dump. And it would go up, trap a high, dump, over and over and over again. And that was exactly what took place here. They went up, they tried to trap the high. But when they came back down, they got the buyers suckered in and steamrolled them all the way back down to the lows. So it ended up being that this 3 press was the trap. The same thing happened over here. If you look at all of the other times, there were 3. We had the first trap, the second trap, and then finally the third with a lower high. If we go backward a little bit more, like I said, it's happened so many times today. You got the 1, the 2, the 3, and then it rolled down. Constant. Very, very persistent pattern today. This time around, it also offered up a nice little push back down for a continuation, a completion. Job done, right? As we go into today and this, I mean, for lack of better words, I guess, reversal off of the bottom, which went screaming all the way up to, where'd that go up to? 15,329. We finally kind of backed off of that a little bit. So if we catalog this as far as volume is concerned, from the bottom to top to see what the market's thinking, we've got a POC down here at 15,185. Now, as far as more continuation goes, we have not hit that 15,185. If we go to this higher low, that was a trap. It's another one of those in the sequence things. We've got a POC which ended up right here. So with that higher low in the transition to the downside, we're kind of left asking ourselves, you know, did they choose to get out of break even? Let's do some in-between math. It's not something that we get to see very frequently, but let's assume for a second here that they were short from this original POC, which would have been down here before all of this happened. Then after that POC, we create a new POC. Their middle point, therefore, would be 50%, right? The exact middle, that's their break even. So if we draw our risk-reward profile based on their average, right, in between math, have the sellers, based on their average, been satisfied off their scalp targets? Ding, 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 ding. Found them. We know what happened here. It took a couple times to figure it out, right? But we know what happened here. The sellers averaged up like crazy. I don't think anybody was expecting this rally here, but they averaged up like crazy, and they scalped out of their positions. We can see it. It's right there. So the fact that the sellers scalped out of their positions and now we're rotating back to the upside, that kind of leads us to believe, like, well, wait a minute, you know, at first, this was a bearish day. The bears owned every part of today. But now we have bear targets that are actually showing support that would suggest that they're exiting. And if bears are exiting, those are buyers. And if they're buyers, well, that has a chance of turning it into a bull market. We also have a bit of a surprise move up that, again, I don't think anybody was really expecting this big of a move. But it happened. C'est la vie. So with that in mind, given the fact that they were taken by surprise and the fact that their scalp targets are so perfectly situated down here like this, I have to believe that the scalpers took their targets. And now they're done. If the sellers are done, that means the longs are in. And if the longs are in, that means that they're looking for more continuation to the upside if they're able to get it. And that's kind of where we are now. So from the big picture here, kind of looking at where we are on, you know, like the 60-minute, obviously this is bearish. It's cruising its way down. We're at a major zone of interest. It's a huge swing low, and that's about the only one that we have left until way down here. Now, we do know that there are some other larger areas down here that are also begging to get hit. But if we go along this whole move from the bottom all the way up to the initial top, I believe is what we had to do this morning to make it show up properly. Hello? I thought that's what we had to do. What the heck? Okay, well, either way, I don't remember exactly where it was, but the POC was somewhere around the 14,800s. I had a line on it, but I accidentally deleted it. That's the primary objective that a lot of traders are looking for. Thank you. There we go. 14,721.75. There it is. So as far as a downside objective goes, that's a very logical point of interest that the market's going to want to try to reach out to. And from an avalanche wedge perspective, this is gearing up perfectly. I mean, we've got ourselves an avalanche wedge. What better spot to stop the avalanche wedge than a POC retest or a near test or maybe a little bit of a blow off, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's the objective, right? That's the hot spot. Now, from the more intermediary term, we can see that the bulls are still possibly in charge a little bit here, but I'll have to give them some time. As for the S&P, is this the right S&P? I've got an S&P down here as well. Ooh, don't close it. Oh, now, hold on now. I've got my news over here. I've got this there. That's, well, whatever. I guess I've just got two S&P charts. That's good enough. We've got the S&P ready to kind of go. And again, taking a look at what's going on, we started off the day with bar one, bear bar, straight from the top all the way down. 20% of the time, 1 out of 5, usually, you're going to see that type of movement, where bar one is the high of day or low of day. It's not the end of the day, by the way, so there's still several hours for this to change. It could make its way all the way back up. But if we're looking at this from the top down on the S&P to what they were able to do at least so far, We have a bottom-weighted POC, which ended up stacking down at 45.85. And, well, I mean, it's fairly obvious that buyers are defending that. So, you know, I think we're kind of getting a clue that we've got a little bit of a potential bullishness to the market. It doesn't feel quite right, but there is a bullishness. Zoom in a little bit closer here. Welcome back, welcome back. Hopefully everyone had a fantastic holiday and a fantastic year's end and all of that. I don't know if you were able to spend much time with your family or not, given COVID and everything else that's going on, but hopefully it went well. NASDAQ is riding the struggle bus real hard up here. Got a lot of lower highs. Sorry, higher highs, higher lows, but they're not really making much headway in terms of a higher high. Where are all my bar timers? They've all disappeared. Ogre, where are you at? There we go. It's gone on all of my charts, too. Anyway, we've got about 2.5 minutes on this current candle here, and they're trying to figure out if they want to keep pulsing this top or what they want to do. Obviously, the overall intent is quite bearish. Sellers are going to be looking for a lot of possible ways to get in this, and above these highs looks really, really nice, but we'll see if they're able to actually stick the landing here or not. The last volume node that we had on the S&P was up at 46.18. If we go back, 19 was the POC. NASDAQ pokes its head above the highs momentarily. As far as the S&P is concerned, it's seeming like they're running into a lot of trouble up here. I do quite like this 08 area. We've got a minute left, so I would like to maybe even see if they're able to get a little bit further above that to like the 10s. So on the S&P, watching this 10 area. Gotta zoom in a little bit closer so I can actually see what's happening. There we go. Let's see if they can make it up there. They got about 20 seconds.
We should shortly be expecting the results of the Fed's reverse repo facility usage.
Poked their head above the highs, but couldn't really get a whole lot done, and now we're moving into the next candle. Just couldn't get the fill that I wanted on the S&P, but we'll wait. We've got 4 minutes 40 left on this, and although we are approaching this with a bearish intent, obviously, in the short term, given that there's 4.5 minutes left, if this were to go bear engulfing, it's very likely that we have a situation where it bounces back up off of something like that, at least this early in the candle. Excuse me. Now, if this gets down to only like 3 minutes left, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. The idea here is that we have a quick slide after triggering in the bulls to swipe their stops, just to push the market right back up again. Chances are their stops are going to be underneath the lows, so 275 is the spot. Starting to run out of time, though. It's got a little bit yet.
76 counterparties take $1.560 trillion at the Fed's reverse repo operation.
Yeah, I'm going to cancel the S&P long, too. Just not enough time anymore. The time interval is going to be a key on that one. As far as the NASDAQ is concerned, this rotation to the upside is looking okay. But, man, it would be really nice to see them get above the highs for some extra proof. All right, market pushing back up to a new high again. Didn't quite dip far enough. See how they want to play ball inside of this, but the overall continuation to the upside, bulls are trying to keep things going. Yeah, I do think my streaming software has music. I just don't know what it is. YouTube safe? that part I don't know. I don't know, does this work? Yeah. But then I don't know how loud it is on your end. Like, we might have to drop it back quite a bit. A little bit? Nah. Nah. All right, S&P climbing its way up there. $20 seconds left on the current candle. S&P still working its way forward. yeah. Close to that purple badge, baby. Welcome back for another month, Bram. Woohoo! Got a heck of a lot of bullishness still stepping up to the plate. You're gonna make me have to make another batch of badges. I like it. I have to think of some cool designs or something. All right, early on, still in the candle. Same context. I would love a low side trap at 5/4, but it's got to be early in the candle, the first couple minutes or so. No. First off, if I played my kind of music on YouTube, I would have nobody watching. And second of all, the amount of aggression that would be oh man. For those of you who are newer, I'm a big fan of. I like music in general. It doesn't really matter to me what it is, but I always end up relying or going back to like heavy deathcore, really brutal stuff, which is a pretty niche audience, you know. Got about 40 seconds left until it's too late for the S&P. Last badge is 2 years. It'll take some time. It's all good. You're already at purple. Almost. Basically. Ooh, 20 seconds. Oh, they're getting close. 5 quarter, 4 quarter. Can they get that blow off? Ooh, lordy. Ooh, lordy. All right. 6 quarter. Got it. Little trap underneath the last low. Early on in the candle, looking for a push back up off of that trap. Immediately swept out of the target. Beautiful move. It's picture perfect. I mean, when they make it that obvious, you know, it's just the last couple couldn't get the fill, but nice little trap underneath the lows. Got the job done. I was kind of concerned I wasn't going to get a fill, but did you see how quickly I was filled? That's the stops getting hit. Remember, it's first in, first out, but if there's 7 bajillion stops getting hit and 7 bajillion in one looking to go long, it's still going to go up, but you get filled really fast because all those stop orders hit at once. That's all that was. Nice little pop. A point a day keeps the job away. That JOB. We've got bulls still climbing back up to the highs on the NASDAQ as well. Nice little trap low on the S&P. Almost overtime on that candle, but we'll take it. Wow, all the way back up to the highs, too. It seems like I wasn't the only one thinking that. Oh, man, Goldman and JP having some fun underneath those stops. All the way back up to a new top. Now, could you go for more on the trade? Definitely, right? There's nothing wrong with trying to hold out for a bigger move. But remember, my purpose in the afternoon, aside from reviewing and answering questions and all that other stuff, is to find opportunities that are quick and straight to the point. There's a reason why I've got a video series called "A Point a Day Keeps the JOB Away," right? It's the same concept here in the afternoon. If we can get 1 point, that's all it takes. Multiple contracts, you can see there's a lot more, but not really any pullback on the NASDAQ. The S&P was the only one. Looking across the board here, Bitcoin's down at the lows, blew off the bottom, popped right back up again, and now we're still sort of hovering around the 41.4s. Crude oil is, I feel like crude oil hasn't even moved. It's been the same price all day. Gold has popped a little bit further up now, back above settlement and into the 1800s. That's a big spot. Very, very strong bull bar after the engulfing. Incredibly unlikely that it gets a dip much lower than 10, so I'll be looking for 10 as the area of interest for the bounce back up. Gap from close to open to the upside as well. Might even be able to dig it back a little bit further into the 8 quarters. It's getting greedy. Unlikely that it works its way through the 10s, but 8 quarters would be nuts. We'll see what they're able to do. Zooming out a little bit further on the S&P, we're not quite to that earlier POC point yet. Getting there. Only got about 3.5 minutes left. There's just not enough time anymore. I'm going to cancel the order. A pullback on the NASDAQ would be nice to... Well, I mean, it'd just be nice to have a pullback, but it would also kind of reset the longs. It would give them a chance to reload a bit. More bullish conviction, climbing up towards those 19s. No pullback at all on the NASDAQ. Kind of par for the course today, it seems. Now, the NASDAQ on a larger zone of interest to try to continue down. I mean, this thing is just nonstop falling off the top, but if we measure off of the highs and go all the way down to the low, we're only at an L2. L3 is right on top of the half DP, 15,400s. It lines up pretty nicely with the S&P reaching out to that top point, too. A lot of stuff going on here for a potential L3. See if they can make it. The S&P is possibly going to be trying to plot a bear bar, but realistically, that seems like a terrible spot for shorts to enter in. Shorts entering in to the downside, I mean, it just doesn't fit the bill, you know? Selling underneath a bear bar or something like that might be a nice opportunity for longs. Yeah, the YouTube link was a mess this morning. I got the link all set up, and then I realized that the date on it was for December 15 or something. So I deleted that one and remade a new one, but it would only make me, or let me do it at 1:30, and then I had to delete that one and make it. It was a mess, but we got there in the end. Horrible signal bar for sellers. I don't believe them at all. 11 quarter would be the entry point for longs trying to buy off of that. The assumption here is that the sellers have such a poor case to want to sell this bear bar that buyers, just like before, will utilize that as a way in. They've actually already done it before over here. That one probably trapped a lot of people, though. See if they'll give it up. Trigger in some of those bears. Good luck. And the longer this takes to trigger, the better. This is totally fine. If it took another 3.5 minutes, that's totally fine. The longer it takes, the less case the sellers have. Now, obviously, I don't want it to break a new high. That would cause some problems. Okay. So it broke a new high. Well, all right. If it filled me now, and the reason why I don't like it now is because that would be a bear engulfing candle. That's a no-fly zone. Bulls continuing to the upside. All right, here we sit. Market not really doing much, although, I mean, again, it is possibly creating that bear engulfing, which is a bit of a bummer. Don't really want that. The NASDAQ still has yet to make even a swing low. It's just gone straight up. Oh, no, actually, they had a new swing low there. That's it. Trap, 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 trap. All right, finally pulling back a little bit here. The S&P, that means that that's going to be creating a bear engulfing candle. That's a bit awkward. Now, based on that, the assumption is that sellers do have enough to actually take it lower. So at 11, what would that be? 11 quarter would be the area where they would likely short at 11 quarter. So 10 quarter would be their scalp target and where they would likely exit. So as far as 10 quarter, that would be the spot where they're most likely to start jumping out of those shorts and push it back up. Sellers taking profit, one tick away from the target. A little more. Tested the target, no fill. Tested the target, no fill. Couple tests, but all no fills. Come on, ES.
JP Morgan CEO Diamond adds that we are expecting a lot of market volatility.
Jeez. All right. Couldn't get a fill on the target, although I tried. See if they can take the exit off there. There we go. Sheesh. All right, finally got a fill on that that last portion there. Basically break even on the first portion and a point on the second. Messy. They hit my target like twice, but I couldn't get a fill. Finally got a fill on the next pulse down. Another point is another point, though. We'll take it. So again, you can see the difference in the approach. When they have a bear engulfing candle, it's likely that they are able to take it lower. So if they sell underneath that bear bar, they're probably going to be able to get it going at least a point or two. So it doesn't make sense to buy directly below it anymore. It makes sense to give them their chance, right? Let them take it. And then start looking to get in when they're exiting, because then everybody's doing the same thing at the same place. Little after 1:30 now, as we go into the afternoon session. A couple nice scalps on the S&P to follow into the afternoon. 2 points and a scratch. A little bit more bearish continuation to the downside. Not a whole lot else going on, though.
JP Morgan CEO Diamond says the consumer has never been in better shape.
Looking at the trade numbers for today as far as the performance goes, dollars and cents aside, I don't care about those. There haven't been any losses. There's just been break-evens. So technically speaking, out of all the trades with the S&P included and this morning, we've got 83.33. No losses, just a scratch as the difference, which is super nice, by the way, that Ninja even calculates break-even trades now. They used to just count as losses. Technically, they are losses because you still pay commissions, but whatever.
JP Morgan CEO says if we are lucky, the Fed will engineer a soft landing.
Not too bad of a day today, all things considered. A couple nice scalps in the afternoon. Pretty good morning. I like it. And as we start to head off into the latter portion of the stream, feel free to get those questions in too. We'll get those covered for you as well. The NASDAQ is pulling back a little. Although it has yet to even make a new low. They're trying. Maybe we get something like this. Nice little wedge bottom. S&P bears seem like they still have a bit of staying power. Not getting any extra moves though. Come on, S&P, figure something out. NASDAQ trying to push underneath the lows. This just can't do it, though. All right, well, we're going on 140, and we've already had a couple nice scalps on the S&P to get things going. It's been a really good day today. So let's get some questions in. If you have any, I'll keep my eyes open for anything else that's setting up. I would love the NASDAQ to actually push down a new low and reset something, but you know, hey, Danny, how's it going? Good afternoon or evening or morning or wherever you're located. Hopefully you've had a great day of trading so far. NASDAQ's still not making a new low. Jeez. Nothing else really happening. It might just do nothing for the rest of the day. I mean, to be fair, it's already had quite a bit of movement. All right. Nice little snap from the bulls here on the NASDAQ, trying to get a continuation play to the upside for a follow-through move. Upside objectives on the NASDAQ, I mean, that's a nice first little spot there, but I would like to see if they can push up through towards like the 70s if they're able. Another break-even retest a whole heap of back and forth. This thing is jerking around hard. Come on, NASDAQ. One good pulse. There we go. Nice. Finish the job. Jeez. Nice little continuation pop. I only grabbed 2 on that one. Like I said, we're going to the end of the day. I want to keep the risk a little bit light, but that's going to be my last one too. I'm not going to put any more risk on the table. Let's look at how that ends the day. I think that is a perfect spot to stop on. Again, I don't have any losses today, so it's kind of difficult to look at the numbers. We've only got 1 break even, and there's 8 total trades today with 1 scratch. So beautiful continuation play in the NASDAQ for some follow through. Just a small little guy, but we'll take it. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions coming in or anything else, so that's going to do it from the YouTube side of things. I hope you enjoyed your time with me this afternoon. Hopefully you had a chance to kind of check things out, ask some questions along the way, and see what we're all about. The market's incredibly confusing and frustrating, right? I get it. Some days are better than others, of course. Maybe it just hit your stop to the tick. Today we were gobbling those stops, but sometimes you're on the other end of that, right? And it's just incredibly frustrating. Consider saving yourself the cost of a monitor before you punch your fist through it, and jump into a 1-week free trial. It's totally free. It's a lot cheaper than replacing the monitor, and it gets you some time to hang out with me for an entire week in the VIP room with the rest of the VIPs in the live trade room during the business hours from 9 to 12. Along with that, you get a huge amount of extra time, but when you register, you also get our free 24-page guide and risk reward, as well as the ability to sign up for a 30-minute call with me so you can talk about any questions you have or anything else. So really, really useful resource. Now remember, we already know the market's confusing and frustrating, but approaching it without a plan is much more like skydiving without a parachute. Sure, it works sometimes. We hear about that one person that hit the ground and didn't completely die. But more often than not, it's not a good idea, right? Not a very good idea. So it's just it's something to consider as far as a decent trade plan or getting yourself started on the right foot. Check out the Day Trading Academy over on SSFTG in that case. It's 19 plus hours of video course material to get you going and understanding why the market's doing what it's doing, so you know why we're doing what we're doing. Along with that, if you pick up the Academy, you also get the upgrade coupon, which is there for you when you're ready to move on to one of the 3 VIP packages. And that way, you get the cost of the entire Academy taken off. So it's kind of like a win-win. It's hard, or at least a no-lose situation, right? If you're looking for a way to join me during the New York Stock Exchange Open, there are 3 different VIP packages. As I said earlier, we run from 9 to 12 every morning, and that's 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time. Sometimes we close a little bit early, but every day the market's open, we're running. And the VIPs have permanent access to the live trade room included with membership, so you don't have to worry about any of the extra fees or annoying monthly bills and any of that other garbage. So, really, really useful. Handy. Now, of course, given that we just made our way through the holiday season and pretty much everyone's coffers after the holiday season are probably emptied out a little bit, if you're looking for a more budget-friendly approach to fit your needs during the here and now, we do also have a lot of different payment plans, as low as $84 a month for 12 months. So really, really affordable either way you're looking to do it. If you do have any questions, though, about anything, you can always shoot me an email, jhb@ssftg.com. We also go live every day at 1300. Take a look for some S&P scalps. And along with the S&P scalps, we go over all of the stuff that we have to offer, questions, that fun stuff. So S&P tapping that major POC zone from earlier, immediately rejecting out as well. But I'm not going to put any more risk on the table. We've already had some really, really solid trades today, a couple nice scalps, not worth giving anything back. Would rather end the first day back off of a holiday in the positive territory and come into tomorrow. So that's going to do it for today. Like I said, if you have any questions, you know where to get a hold of me. There's 1,003 different ways to get a hold of me, but we also go live every day at 1300. We'll be back tomorrow. just like today, if you have any questions that you may have missed. If you're signing up or are already in the trial, then I will see you all back tomorrow morning. For you VIPs, we'll see you back tomorrow morning as well. And don't forget, too, for you YouTube members, if you click the join button below the stream, YouTube members also have access to join with the VIPs for the first 20 or 30 minutes of the day while we create our morning trade plan via YouTube. So another really useful resource. If you want more information on that, you can check out the join button below the stream. But that's going to do it. Have a great rest of your day. I hope you had an amazing trading day today, and we will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one. We'll talk to y'all later. Thanks.